Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session on how to build a business-owned data and AI strategy. My name is Sudharshan Ravi. I'm the Vice President and Head of Data at Volvo Penta. So my background is within analytics, advanced analytics, data and digital strategy, within various management consulting firms, most recently Capgemini Invent. I'm an engineer at heart. That's what I've been really both studying with and working with the last more than 10 years within financial services, automotive, insurance, and now, of course, within Volvo Penta. So the session today has three main points. First, introduction to Volvo Penta. I promise you it's not going to be too long, just some pictures to show you what we build and what kind of company we are. And then we dive into the data and AI strategy. I promise there is a focus on AI as well, and I didn't just add it to the title, like the 95% of presentations out there. There is a purpose as well. And then challenges and key takeaways. So let's get started. As my colleague previously presented as well, Volvo Penta is part of the Volvo Group, where we have Volvo Trucks, Renault Trucks, buses, construction equipment, Mack Trucks in the US. So we have roughly 15 different business areas, brands, and truck divisions, which also means that as part of the group, we are also driving individual brands. So I work as the head of data in Volvo Penta, and there are also similar heads of data in the other brands within the group. So we collaborate quite a lot with each other, and we also have a more group functions that support us in a lot of the things that we do. This, I will also touch upon this in the takeaways on the challenges with such a setup. Of course, as I mentioned, we are a world-leading supplier of power solutions for both marine and industrial applications. Most of you who are boat lovers here probably know our yacht and leisure yacht engines and so on. But we also are equally large within the industrial applications. So where we have working with agriculture, construction, material handling in ports, mining equipment, special vehicles, forestry, and more traditionally, of course, within commercial support craft, leisure yachts, leisure boats, and commercial applications. And also within industrial, we also work a lot with battery energy storage systems called BESS, which is a large product range for us. And now to jump into the data and AI strategy. To set the scene, really, the goal here is not how do you build it from scratch. The focus of this session will be more on if you have a data strategy or a data and AI strategy or a data analytics strategy, how do you get it embedded into the day-to-day part of the business? That is really the challenge that we saw in Penta. It's not difficult to draw a data strategy, as I will show you quite soon, but how do you change the fundamental DNA of a company, which is over 100 years old, where we have been really good at building diesel engines, where we've been really good at building traditional hard products. How do you bring a change in the way that you even drive the business itself? To set the scene a little bit, data plays a key role in realizing our full potential for 2030. And this is very clear. In 2020, the group as a whole, including Penta, set forth the ambition that by 2030, we will be doubling our revenue within services and solutions. This meant that we are not converting what we're selling from buses and trucks and Penta engines to digital solutions, but in essence, really generating revenue twice of what we sell today. And 4 of our focus areas as a company within Penta, customer success, sustainability, business growth, and people, all of the things that we are driving here has data in its core. Which also brings me to digitalization. I work within data, of course, which is part of our digital and IT organization in the company. And we are one of the 5 digital areas. So data is the one encompassing around. Then we have digital customer experience, digital workplace, digital efficiency, and digital services. And this has been a key enabler, really, for driving our journey. So if we have such good ownership, both at the highest executive level, and if we are having a key acknowledgement that digitalization is great, what is the challenge? Why are we maybe not data-driven 4 years down in our journey? I know the text is hidden. It was on purpose. I didn't want to have too much text. I'm happy to discuss it later. So there is an eagerness to transform within the company, both high and low, but there is an uncertainty on how to do so. As I've mentioned, we've been really good at doing one thing, which is building engines, drivelines for various applications. But what does that really mean for a company such as Penta to become either data-driven or to deliver digital solutions and services or data products while at the same time staying true to who we are? We cannot just make random services that play music or something like that. It really needs to continue to add value for our customers. And that is where we come in for the Penta's data and analytics strategy. In the top, you see the four focus areas: customer success, sustainability, business growth, and people. And these are our highest priorities in our corporate strategy as well, which I will go through quite soon. And the reason it's in the top here is the same reason why we are really working to embed this in our business. The data analytics strategy exists for one reason, which is to support our highest core business goals and to ensure that we are actually using it rather than a nice presentation that you keep it in some nice folder once in a while. 3 categories below that enable our core goals. One, the value drivers. And here we have 2 perspectives: act on data, everything that you can do internally as a company, internal effectivization, automation, cost reduction, cost avoidance, anything you can use data for to improve your processes, the way we build our products in our factories, the way that we are buying raw materials, and so on. And then monetize data is more our external view, where we're talking about third-party data products, new digital solutions and services, and really changing our total offer. And the value drivers are really enabled by, in the middle, the enablers there: govern and manage data, which is data governance, data management, master data management; make data available, which is our data platforms, both on the cloud, on Azure, but also on-premise, our API and integrations platform. And then we have manage quality of data, which some of you, I'm sure, think, shouldn't that be part of governing and managing data? But Volvo really stands for the brand where we're talking about quality and safety, and should that not be as important for our data as well? And then we have managing compliance and security, where we're talking about data privacy and cybersecurity, information security. And in the bottom, we have fostering a data-driven culture, where we work with data literacy, self-service, analytics, citizen development, and really building a culture of change. We want our people not to be experts in, all of them to be experts with working with the latest technology and tools. We want each person within Volvo Penta to think, maybe I can solve this problem slightly differently instead of doing it in the manual way that I've always done. And that is really what we strive for in fostering a data-driven culture. For each of these guiding principles, we have strategic ambitions. I know it's a lot of text, but we needed to make one slider for the management and so on. But for each of these guiding principles, we have set guardrails or a North Star towards where we hope to be. So if we take, for example, making data available for our business, we have right data available in the right time, in the right format for the right consumers. And then also Volvo Group Data Marketplace with reusable data products. These are quite standard. This is not rocket science, what you see on the screen here, but it really sets a base stage and a foundation for us to take the strategy and adapt it to the different parts of our business, which is what I'll come to quite soon. So the strategy expands really on how the enablers, the foundation, and the value drivers are directly linked to the core business goals. So Volvo Penta 2030 is supported by the value drivers, which are enabled by the foundation and the enablers. And what does this actually mean? And this is really where we have been putting a lot of time and effort in the last year. So last September, we got an official buy-in from our executive management group on the strategy, and that's really where our hard work began. They agreed, yes, it looks good, but what does it mean to make this more than something that is a paper product, something that you really, each part of the business drives each day on our data journey? So first, we have the Volvo Penta strategy towards 2030. So this is quite newly released with our vision, pioneering sustainable productivity, power, and experience with our focus areas that I've already touched upon, with our business and growth areas within marine, industrial, services, and so on. And we take these core business goals, and you can break them down into several KPIs and numbers on 25% product profitability or cost reduction and effectivization. We take these and connect them to the value drivers. And I will come to an example quite soon. And these value drivers really describe how does data analytics provide value or supports the enablement, the success of the core business goals. And to be very clear, just because we have these value drivers doesn't mean that we're going to be the most successful company in the planet, right? It's really one aspect. You need to, of course, do people and culture change. You might need to change your processes. You might need to be very specific on the customers you target. But the goal here is really how do you embed data as a natural part and a natural enabler of everything that you do within sales, within finance, within HR. And that is really what the value drivers are, to break it down into if it's a dashboard that you need, or if it's improving data quality by having a data steward network within a certain domain. And these value drivers are then connected to the enablers and the foundation. So for example, you might say we need a dashboard to have a better look at our sustainability numbers. And then one of the key enablers would be, but we need to have data available. Because right now it's very manual, it's in Excel many times, which is like more than 50%, it's in people's heads. How do we make this more easy and available on our cloud platform or on-premise? And that's really what the enablers and foundation are about, which are then connected to the strategic ambitions. So the strategic ambitions are really where we hope to be in 2030, of course. And as any data strategy, you might say you want one data platform, or you want a fantastic data quality, or you want to have a literacy of 100% within the company. But how do you drive that in a way that is not too overbearing on your business? And how do you make it really something that they can easily adopt? And how do you also prioritize? And that is really what the value dependency network, which connects our 2030 strategy to our core DNA initiatives. So to support our company in the core business, DNA can contribute with the value drivers. Thus, we must ensure enablers and foundation, and therefore prioritize the strategic ambitions. And then you can break down the strategic ambitions to really the initiatives that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, either each PI or every quarter, whatever it is. It can be a project, a use case, anything. And that is really the focus of this is, in order to reach our goals, we make it as tangible and connected to the business value that we bring. And that's a change that we've had as a challenge in Penta is people think, oh, a dashboard, they understand the value. But why do you need to have proper data governance or management? Or why do you need to improve data quality? Not so much. They will complain about data quality, but they don't really see the really importance and the value of getting their hands dirty. So now if we go in practice, so sustainability as the core business goal, and how does it map to DNA initiatives? So on the left there, I've only highlighted sustainability as an example. You have science-based targets, reducing emissions and so on. You might have renewable energy goals. You might have remanufacturing goals. And these you can really break down according to your own business into smaller and smaller pieces, into specific KPIs or change that you want as part of your core business. We are then mapping this to value drivers. Of course, there's an external piece where we can monetize this, of course, as well. But then if you look at more the internal act on data, where you can talk about maybe more better transparency on reporting regarding sustainability, maybe a better improved supply chain or manufacturing, which are then connected to all of the different enablers. In the sustainability case, all the enablers are valid, and then you connect these to the strategic ambitions. So I know this looks like a complex model with lines and so on, but it's really just to simplify prioritization, to ensure that we get good buy-in from our business and to really create a change in the understanding for them that data is not something, oh, those people in the IT will solve it, or that I don't really need to take ownership of my data, or why do I need to do this training? I'll just keep clicking next till I'm done. So that is really the change that we want to bring in to make sure, look, if you want to reach your renewable energy goals, this is one of the good things that will be a massive support in order for you to get there. Not the only support, of course. That is maybe being too self-important, but one of the massive supports. Which brings us to the question, what about AI? So we are working on an AI direction, which builds upon the foundation that you just saw, as well as there is a larger Volvo Group initiative regarding the AI strategy. As you can see, it's not something that's too different from the data analytics strategy. We have fostering a culture of AI integration, building essential capabilities for successful AI adoption, and driving business value through AI implementation. So we do have a few Gen AI use cases that we're working on, nothing in production yet, but it's on the way, and we really hope that the work that we are doing here will embeds itself with the data strategy as well. And this is also just a paradigm shift, really, and we see that we can at least really massively effectivize our internal operations. Which brings me to the end of this presentation, although it makes me sad, but I hope we can talk a bit about challenges and key takeaways. There were many, many key takeaways that I could have added here, but I wanted to really keep it in theme with this presentation. First one, strategic forums. This has really been a challenge since we established the strategy. There is a clear need for a data perspective in the strategic why forums. And the strategic why forums are the company leadership and the executive management team. It can be the different business unit cross-functional forums. It can be the leadership of the ones who are running our factory and operations. It can be the leadership of technology and R&D. There is a lack of a data perspective. And by this, I don't mean that we need to be 100, 200 people in my team who is sitting there as like a data principal and is saying, you need to do like this. But it's more about having somebody who can take the data perspective to drive change from the get-go, from why. Because we don't have trouble in the grassroots, in the operational level. It is really changing the company from the top down, as well as from the bottom up, to really meet in the halfway. So to enable data by design, increase transparency of data dependencies, and data lead part of the why forums. Then we come to perform versus transform, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, especially in these tougher economic climates. We need to still keep delivering what we have always done while undergoing a massive transformation as a company. And there is an urgency to transform with the constant need to perform. And it's not always easy to find the balance. Because if you have really bad data quality, which is one of our pain points, there is constant complaints. Can you help fix it? Can you do something? And while we are building this foundation that we are doing with one data platform, better data management, and so on, that does take time. So we are really focusing, at least this year, on moving the needle forward, even with micro successes, to focus on our successes, to record a short demo, and really publish and advertise as much as possible. And then make data an embedded part of the key business goals, which we already touched upon. Hub and spokes, maybe it's a Volvo Group specific thing, but we do have a large central group digital and IT organization. We are part of the Penta's digital IT organization, then we are Penta Business. And we've had really a lot of work put into having clear roles and responsibilities, because we have the responsibility to connect our business with the group and to really deliver on everything that they need, and to collaborate on common pain points within the Volvo Group business areas. This is something that we do quite a lot. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel again and again. If, for example, sustainability, the model that you saw there, that is something that we are really working across the TDBAs, with buses, with construction equipment, with trucks, because we all have the need to report on this. And finally, value realization, maybe one of the hardest challenge that we have, which is balancing transformation versus delivered value. Companies are really quick, especially this year. They're putting millions and millions and millions on Gen AI, and they will invest a lot. But then in 1, 2 years, 3 years, the question will come. So what is our return on investment? Where's the money? And that is really why we want to do a value dependency mapping, both to increase the ease of, for me to get a budget next year, but also to showcase the value that we're getting, the time that we're saving, and to measure value and iterate approach on a continuous basis. So with that, I say thank you very much for listening. And if you agree with this or it helped you, that's great. If it didn't, you disagree with me, that's also really great. I'll be outside. Let's chat more. Thank you.